This is Small Talk with 101 ESPN's Michelle Smallman.
What's up, everyone? Welcome into episode 154 of Small Talk. Your hosts, Steve Cerruti and Michelle Smallman, are back with you after like a 2.5 week long hiatus. Steve, these breaks are getting longer and longer for us, but it's hard for us to record a podcast when you're on the beach in Tulum. So you got to tell us, how was your trip?
It was great. Well, you're also like jet setting as well. Now you're on the East Coast, but so you're doing your thing. So it's not just me, but Tulum was amazing. It was great. Never been to Mexico before. And we'll get into I have a few questions for you or just observations from being there, but
okay.
Probably one, so we did Hawaii, we did Maui and Kauai on our honeymoon. And I would argue that parts of Tulum were actually more beautiful than even Maui and Kauai, which I thought I would have never said, but it's an incredibly beautiful place. And the cool thing was that we didn't really know this, but I guess October is like the off season there. So it was kind of dead too. So like there's really nobody on the beach. The restaurants and clubs are all kind of closed. Tulum is this place where, and again, I didn't know really much about it. I didn't know much about Mexico. I'd heard of Cancun and Cabo as like the spring break party central. I never did that in college. Did you do that? I never did the spring break thing.
I went to Acapulco twice.
Oh, okay. So you were, that actually checks out, Big Ten school, sorority, that checks out.
Of course it does, yeah.
And not that I wouldn't have wanted to do it. I just never did. I never went to, never got to go to Mexico during spring break. But Tulum is not really that vibe. But Tulum is like so it's 90 minutes south of Cancun, this. Mm-hmm. And it's like a little bit dangerous, but not like in a cool way, I would say, like the street is very narrow. There's like a lot of
street. It's
one street. Yeah. Basically one just down the beach. And like, there's some sketchy spots, some sketchy people, but it's beautiful and it's great. And I had an awesome time. So it wasn't like, it's not like a bring your kids there and eat chicken fingers kind of place. It's more of a like, it's a late night, like vibes place. And there were some great vibes there, even though it was a little bit dead, but had a great week, drank a shit ton of mezcal, and am a little bit darker, I think, than I've ever been, probably in the last, 5 to 6 years.
Okay, I have a lot of follow-up questions here. Number one, I think it's interesting that you think it's sketchy because I felt safer in Tulum than I do in St. Louis.
Okay, I can't speak to that. I've never been to St. Louis. I'd imagine. Well, I don't know. Yeah, the way you've kind of described St. Louis, okay, I can get that. It wasn't sketchy. Like the people there were so freaking nice. Like they were so nice. Great. And it was more of like the way, like there's basically this very narrow road and you just walk on the road and there's cars, there's potholes everywhere. Like there's animals everywhere. Like it was crazy. So sketchy, like not from like, I felt like I was in danger at any point, but it wasn't like it's not like a resort destination that you would find. Like, it's not an all-inclusive type thing where you just like get drinks handed to you constantly. Like you have to walk places and not everything is like cleaned up, I should say. But like once you get into the beach and by the beach itself, it's amazing. So I can't speak to the compared to St. Louis, but like, I'm not, let's not pretend like my life was in danger at any point when I was there.
No, but there is a very heavy sense of like, if I have one too many mezcals, I could get hit by a car on this dark road.
I'm surprised more people don't. It's totally. You have just drunk ass people. And I was thinking about this because Maddie was like, should I wear heels? I was like, no,
my
absolutely
God,
not. You would step in like mud and whatever. It was just, it's a hard thing to describe. But yeah, I was like kind of surprised. I'm like, this is super dangerous. You've got just like taxis on both sides and like just people drunkenly walking in the street. So I don't know, who knows, maybe that does happen. I don't know, but no, we got back safely. It was a lot of fun. And, I would highly recommend it to anyone.
Okay. Question number 2, before you left, we had a little bit of consternation about what you should get Maddie for your anniversary.
Correct.
And I think we came to the conclusion that you were going to get her something in Tulum. Did you pull the trigger? Did you secure the gift?
I did not buy a gift.
Oh, Steve.
I did not. And some of you are going to be like, wow, what a dick move. Like you're a terrible husband. Maybe. But I was repeatedly told that she didn't want something and that, we would get something when we were there, which we really didn't, but it was more about like the experiences of things. Like we did this awesome, like tequila mezcal tasting, which was awesome, like by ourselves. What's weird is I feel like I drank constantly when I was there, but I was never like really drunk. I was just kind of always feeling great. And that's, I think, the best part of vacation is when you're just,
right here.
Yeah. You're always like a 6, you're never like a 7, 8, I had a scene this weekend. One of my buddies puked in my car on the way back from Boston. He was at a 10, so I had to get that detailed. So I was never quite there in Tulum, but I was always like in a great mood. But no, I didn't get her a gift, and she doesn't care. She doesn't care. I don't care. We're not big gift people to begin with. Like we kind of just like buy each other stuff like when we need it at the time. So I know some people will probably judge me for that, but no, I did not get a gift.
I was at lunch today. I'm in New York City, and I was at lunch today with someone, and they told me experience is the new luxury.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I was like, yeah,
well
that's
said.
so well said. So true, because we were talking about just what you're saying about how now when people go to give a gift, instead of buying a luxury item like a handbag or a watch or something like we talked about. Yeah, like experiencing something with someone is far more luxurious and better than buying them something materialistic. So experience is the new luxury. So you did get her a gift, Steve.
Yeah. I mean, would she have rather had a handbag or a trip to Tulum? Like, come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I don't think anybody would pick the former. But that's a good point. I think now, like, everyone's kind of like minimalistic today. And, even like with clothes and just shit that we get, even we talk about this for the holidays. And this is one of the things I love about my family is like, we don't buy each other gifts. Like I have two sisters and my mom and my dad. Like we do like a grab bag Secret Santa. Cause like none of us, we don't need to buy each other one gift each. Like we don't need that much shit, otherwise this is going to be stuff that we're going to be throwing away in 2 seconds. So I'm with whoever said that as a very smart person. I would rather take a trip than receive something any day of the week.
It was Mark, and he's very smart.
Shout out to Mark. He knows he's got his head screwed on straight.
Okay. Final question for you. Can you tell me what you were doing over the weekend that had your friend at such a 10 that he put in your car?
Yeah. So actually this is a great somewhat segue. We were in Boston for my friend Brian and his now fiance Sam, their engagement party. And it was great. We had an awesome time. And we drove up, we were going to stay there, but like there was like no hotel rooms in Boston, oddly enough. It was all like crazy expensive. And I'm like, love Boston, but I'm not going to pay like $1 trillion to stay in Boston for that place.
Were the Red Sox still playing at the time though?
No, they were out. It was a couple days ago.
Oh, this past week. Okay.
Yeah. So we were there and, he got after it. My buddy got after it. I won't say his name, but he got after it a little bit. And on the ride home, it's funny. I should have known. This is actually partially my fault because he was hammered and we got back in the car. I was fine. I was drinking waters by the end of the night. It was totally fine. But we had a 90-minute drive back home. And, I just kind of didn't really think about the car sickness thing. And probably 10, 15 minutes into the highway trip, he just puked all in my car. So, and we still had over an hour. I mean, Maddie was not happy. It was a horrific smell. Ooh. It was cold outside and we had the windows open the entire time. We had to stop at a rest stop and they're like, he felt bad. They're wiping up they're wiping everything out, but it's like, there's a lot of stuff. And I don't think he opened the window in time. I didn't quite see it. And, but he did pay to detail my car. It happened yesterday. Yeah. Everything, it's all forgiven. So it's all good, but it was a good hour, 15 minutes of just like puke car. And it was as bad of a smell as anything I've ever smelled in my life.
One of the most mortifying moments of my entire life is that I threw up in the backseat of an Uber in New York City. And it was like what
happens? You have to pay for that, right?
So yeah, but it was, I don't know if you've ever been in a cab or an Uber in New York City. You could be dead sober and feel nauseous in a cab in New York City. It's just the way they drive. It's like this, it's like this, it's like this, right? And I had gone out the night before, but was not feeling that banged up. And I got in the cab. It was like back and forth. And I turned to my friend and I was like, I think I'm going to be sick. And my friend was like, what? Like, are you sure? And before I could even spring into action, it just happened. And so I do feel badly for your friend as someone who's done
He was so embarrassed.
I've never been more mortified in my entire life. I felt awful. Not only did I, was like happy to pay for the car or whatever. That's a whole separate story. But like, I wanted to send a handwritten note to the driver. Like, send him a fruit basket. Too nice. Like, I am so incredibly sorry. Like, I would almost rather be a friend because then I could do something super, apologetic to you. But it was like, I feel badly for your friend. And yes, your friend was banged up and put in it's just like a bad confluence of things. But as someone who has done it, it is truly embarrassing.
I have thrown up in my own car. This happened in high school. We were coming back from a party and one of my friends was driving my car home and I threw up in the passenger seat of my own car all over the dash, So that at least was on me. Like my car, right. I had to clean it up. So that was fine. And then I believe in college I puked out a window, but it wasn't in the car. Nice. But that was also like in my, I was a teenager, and then in my early 20s, we're approaching our mid 30s. I don't know if puking in cars should be a thing that happens anymore, but honestly, it wasn't really his fault. Like, I get it. It totally could have happened to anybody, but it was just like, wow, we're adults and we're still puking in cars. I can't believe this is, I didn't see this happening when younger Steve wouldn't have envisioned his life would be like this.
Road or feeling motion sickness is transcendent. It doesn't happen to just
doesn't discriminate on age. Exactly.
That's right.
Yep. Doesn't care who you are. It comes up fast. And speaking of coming up fast, it did. And it was a bright purple. It was one of,
we didn't need the details.
Oh no, I need to give people the details because I want people to feel what I felt. And it was as disgusting as anything I've ever seen in my life. Hour and a half ride home. Good times. Everybody's doing great.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
But anyway, I bring that up because we're going to do something later in the podcast where we are going to do our next draft. And it's some stupid idea that I had. And it actually kind of got stimulated a little bit at this party over the weekend because we were on a dance floor and like there was a band, they were playing songs. And I want to draft, we'll do 5 each, the most universally loved songs of all time.
Okay, done.
The songs that do not discriminate, like age, sex, race, setting, none of that matters. Like this song comes on in almost any setting and you're like, this is a bad.
So we're talking the motion sickness of the music world.
Yes, it doesn't discriminate against anybody. Exactly. And we're not talking club bangers. We're not talking like, it could be any song, but it comes on and you are like, and like 99% of the people in wherever place you are like, yes, this is great. So we're going to do that a little bit later in the pod.
Yeah, you had given me a heads up on this, and I just put my list together quite haphazardly before I went to lunch today, and I came up with 15 songs right at the top of my head.
I got about 10, so so it sounds like we'll be good there. So we'll do that a little bit later. But I actually had a couple more thoughts on Tulum really quickly before we move on to another subject.
Tulum away.
I just have a couple things, I'll end with a question that sort of was I guess it was the focal point of Maddie's group chat for a couple hours while we were there. Okay. First and foremost, Tulum is like, I didn't realize how much of an like IG thought central it was. Like there was a girl outside of the pool that we were at, which by the way, it was kind of empty because as I mentioned, nobody was really there, with a full tripod, multiple light fixtures, and just like her ass was just everywhere. And I'm like, she had no shame. She didn't care. Like, she's just taking pictures of herself with this whole huge setup and couldn't have cared about it. I kind of respected it. I'm like, damn, I'm jealous of how much you do not care about how weird this is right now.
I had a lot of moments when I was in Tulum of seeing girls do the exact same thing, putting the phone up and putting it on the self timer and doing a lot of this.
Not just a phone though, Michelle. Like I get the phone thing. We are talking expensive camera with a tripod and multiple light fixtures during the day. During the day. I couldn't believe it.
Totally solo.
Oh yeah, nobody was around her. Yeah, she was her own thing. Yep. I'm assuming somebody was paying her to be there. I don't know. I mean, she was good looking. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah. And because there were a lot of people taking pictures on the beach that, but that's just everybody does that these days.
But you know what I mean? It's a lot of the like over the shoulder.
Oh yeah. There was like
a Tulum pose.
There was like a rotten, I shouldn't say rotten. It was like a palm tree that had fallen down. It was just like the stump was there. And it was like kind of like a bed type situation. And it was right near where we would go to the beach most of the days. And every like IG thought girl would come by, lay on that, have somebody take a picture of them on that, and then go on, with the rest of their day. But no, this was in front of a pool at the resort, with just zero shame, and a lot of equipment. I was amazed.
Did you ask questions?
No, I didn't talk to her. I was too intimidated. What would you have asked her? Like, why? Hopefully you're getting paid for this.
I would have been like, hey, do you want me to take a photo of you?
No, she was clearly good. She was clearly good. It was like, it wasn't just like a phone on a tripod. It was a like nice Canon or I don't know, whatever a nice camera is. Like it was a nice camera. Again, multiple light fixtures.
Yeah, but I would have asked to take the photo so then she could say no. And then I would say, what are you shooting for?
Yeah. I don't know. I was too intimidated and like taken aback by it that I was like, I just said to Maddie, I was like, that's actually happening, right? Like I'm not making this up. She has this whole thing. I was waiting for somebody else to show up, but nope, it was just her. So, cool. Hey, good for you, girl. Get it. Second thing, kids at clubs.
Oh,
did you see that when you were there?
I didn't go to a club when I was there.
It wasn't really like a club, I should say, but like there were a lot of bachelorette or bachelor parties, right? And really? Streamers and shots and all this thing was going on.
Bagatelle?
No, it wasn't Karma. What the heck was it called? It was right near Karma though. but it was like a big sort of outdoor, and the music is just, I mean, the music in most places there is like blaring. Which is kind of fun actually at night. But there's like girls doing shots. There's just like asses everywhere. There's like dudes with no shirts on, like fireballs playing. There's streamers everywhere, expensive ass drinks. And then there was this little kid next to us eating sushi with his parents. And I was like, what are you guys doing? And he was fine. They had an iPad out and he just was watching cartoons on his iPad while like there was a couple of strippers in the background. Who knows? I don't know.
How old was this kid? Roughly
4, 5.
Wow, so we're talking
maybe.
Little kid.
He was old enough where like he wasn't gonna like cry in public, but he was young. But he was also one of those kids that like his parents clearly like styled him. Like he had a very stylish haircut. And he was wearing probably trendier clothes than I was. But I just couldn't believe it. There was like all this commotion going on, and there was just like this little kid watching cartoons, eating sushi with his parents out to dinner. It was just something I'd never seen before, because Tulum is not a place for kids, my friends. It's just like, you should not bring kids there. But this couple was like, we're gonna have a good time and our kids are coming too. So I was kind of taken aback by that.
Well, that reminds me of Sweet Home Alabama when she's like, you have a baby in a bar.
Yeah, that's like, I would say that's more trashy. This wasn't trashy. This was almost like Euro in a way. And I don't know, maybe they were Euro, I'm not sure. And it's much more lax there. Like kids go anywhere. Kids are like smoking at age 6, so it doesn't really matter. But I was like, honestly, I don't know if I'd be pumped or annoyed if I was this kid, but he was just kind of in the zone and he wasn't really paying attention to everybody around him. He was just enjoying his sushi. So good for him. I would not do that, but
I guess if he's 4 too, he doesn't really know what the commotion is about. He's not like, wow, look at that ass.
It was also late though. It was like 11 p.m. I'm like, what are you like? Wow. What are we doing? All right, 2 more things. Worm salt. Do you have worm salt when you were there?
I did not. What is that?
It's ground up worms
tequila?
with salt. And it's I had it with a lot of drinks. Like a lot of the bartenders would give it to us because I guess it's like some sort of like thing that is, that locals do or they enjoy. It is literally a blended up dried worm with salt. And you like dip. It's almost like the salt used for tequila, but you could also dip like fruit in it. It's a very intense flavor. And I probably had too much of it and it was a little bit disgusting, but it's worth trying because it's a little bit. We tried to like experiment with our palates. We tried to eat some weird stuff. We ate like some good octopus when we were there.
Oh yeah.
Some fish, like soft shell crab stuff. Well, the food all there was great, but worm salt, I would try it, but it's probably not something you're going to go back to.
Okay.
And then let me close with this because this was like the major question when we were there. Are you pro or are you against peeing in the ocean?
Totally pro.
Okay. Why? Why is that okay?
You're talking to a girl who's from the Midwest who has been in a lot of lakes, and you literally will put the boat somewhere so you can pop in the water and go to the bathroom. We're talking about a natural body of water that's getting a lot of turnover.
I almost feel like it's worse in a lake than the ocean because at least the ocean has like salt in it. The lake is fresh water,
Well, I mean, where else are you going to go?
Okay, so that's the question.
Resort?
That's the question is how close are you to a clean bathroom? Because I'm not gonna ask you to like go to an outhouse or something. And let's be honest too, this is also way easier for guys than it is for girls. Like it's just easier for guys to pee places.
Way easier for guys.
So like I do get that, but we were probably 20 yards from our room on the beach. And
well, if I had a bathroom option, I would much rather use a proper restroom. But if I'm like down the beach, we had gone to lunch somewhere and we're on an area where I can't find somewhere to go, you better believe Mother Nature, here I come.
If there's nobody around you too, I guess I understand. Right, but if there's if it's an ocean full of people, like, are we really peeing? So anyway, so this gets back to my thing. I was like, I don't think you should pee in the ocean. I don't think people should pee in the ocean. There's people around. The bathroom's not that far away. Just go to the bathroom. It's not that big of a deal. And Maddie and her friends vehemently disagree with me. They're like, you're an idiot. It is absolutely okay to pee in the ocean. I didn't really ask my friends, and they're all dudes. I figured they would be like, whatever. But they were all very much telling me that I was in the wrong here, that no, you can pee in the ocean whenever you want.
Yeah. Doesn't the salt water sterilize it anyway?
I mean, is that like an urban legend? I have no idea if that's true or not.
I don't know. I made it up.
Urine is mostly water, but again, if no one's around you, it's not that big of a deal. But like, if you're swimming around, like, would you want somebody like 10 feet away from you peeing in the ocean? No. So like, you're trying to be the nice person by also not peeing in the ocean when you're 10 feet around somebody else.
Okay. So I'm so anti peeing in the pool. I think if you pee,
that's just, I mean, that's a sad, if you're over 4, you shouldn't be peeing in the pool.
And even if you're 4, I'm pissed if you're doing that.
Yeah,
No
exactly. No pass on that. Yeah.
No pun intended, but I am mad. But the way I think of the ocean or a lake is there's already a bunch of other stuff in there. It's not like a chlorine stagnant body of water. There's a lot of movement. There's fish. The fish are going to the bathroom in the pool or in the ocean and in the lake.
But here's the difference.
Know what I mean?
Here's the difference. You are peeing in the shallow part of the water. Okay.
But think about the waves are coming and there's overturn.
The whales and the sharks and most of the fish are peeing in the deep seas of the ocean. Like that stuff, we're not dealing with that part of the water. I'm talking about the nice wave water that gets sort of recirculated. Like that water doesn't really move anywhere. It just kind of stays at the shore. So if you pee, like if you're peeing and you're on like, all right, so you're facing the shore and you pee, people to your left are likely going to get your pee.
No, I disagree because you're thinking that the pee is just like one solid entity. As you're peeing, it's dispersing already, and then the waves are coming and it's getting in the mix. And so, what
if the waters are calm? There weren't that many big waves. I'm just saying, like the water wasn't surfing wave situation.
The dispersion and the molecules, like even if your pee does get into like a stranger's zone, the amount of urine that could actually get there is probably so small it doesn't even register.
Okay, so you disagree with me. My final point on this, and I acknowledge that I'm probably in the minority here, but all I'm saying is you would not want someone near you peeing in the ocean. So no, I'm saying like reciprocate the love and do not pee around other people in the ocean. That's all I'm saying. If you are by yourself, I'm not going to give you shit for it. But if there are multiple people within like a good 25-foot radius of you, probably even less, I would say, because 25 feet is long. I don't think you would want someone else peeing in the ocean near you. So
I also think it's kind of like,
pay it forward, Michelle.
It's kind of like, the unwritten rules of baseball. I feel like it's the unwritten rule of like the ocean or a lake that everyone's peeing in it. It's just what's happening. It's like a unspoken contract when you jump in there that you are doing that at your own risk.
You're probably right. I fully acknowledge that I'm probably in the wrong, but I did walk back to the room and classily peed in our bathroom.
Well, see, now, again, if I had the option, if it was that close, I would much rather use the proper restroom.
Yeah. All right. So we're kind of on the same page here, even though I think you're a little bit more lenient than I am. I'm like, go and try to figure out a situation where you don't have to do that. But again, I don't know. I guess tell me we'll let the audience figure it out. Tell us if I'm wrong. I don't know. Because all of Maddie's friends are like, no, Steve's an idiot. Like he is incredibly wrong in this situation.
Also, no one near you, if they're a stranger, is ever going to be like, hey, dude, don't swim over here. I just peed.
Well, I know. Honestly, I wish they would tell me.
Swimming in their pee anyway.
I wish they would tell me. No, if they just shouldn't pee. If they know I'm around them, just don't pee. Hold it or wait till I'm not in the water anymore. I don't know.
Can I ask you a peeing question?
Yeah, go. Oh, yeah. Now we're on the subject of peeing. Let's go.
Small talk. You're home for bathroom conversation. So I flew to New York on Saturday and very much wanted to watch the Illinois game, Go Illini, which ended up being an epic game.
Big game, yeah.
Huge upset for Coach Bielema, who was on my show this morning. It was great to talk to Coach about the big upset against Penn State. But I was watching the game live on the plane in the headrest, right? And I hadn't really slept the night before. I had a lot of work stuff. I had to pack late. And Illinois went down, I think, 10-0 fairly early. And I was like, gosh, man, I'm probably going to get stomped here. Damn it. And so I'm like, I'm just going to close my eyes for like a sec. So I ended up falling asleep for maybe like 10, 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And the girl next to me like pokes me on the shoulder and is like, excuse me, can you wake up? I need to use the restroom. And I was like, oh, I was like very much startled. And I was like, yeah, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, let me get up. And she was in there for a while. And so I couldn't go back to sleep. Right. So then,
so it was clearly an emergency.
It was an emergency.
There was a problem. Okay, because that does change like the story here a little bit.
Which is fine. Then later, maybe it was halftime or whatever, or maybe I forget whatever time it was. I leaned back and closed my eyes again. As soon as I closed my eyes, the guy 2 down is like, "Excuse me, can you get up?" I was on the aisle, by the way. "Can you get up? I need to use the restroom." And I'm like, "Okay." So then I start thinking about this, and again, maybe this is my Midwestern mentality. If I'm a window seat or a middle seat, I will hold it. If I see that someone on the aisle is sleeping, I wasn't upset that I had to get up. That is not the point of this. I just started thinking about how I almost appreciated that they were so brazen about it. They didn't care that I was sleeping. They're never going to see me again. So they wanted to get up and go to the bathroom. But I was thinking there's been many times when I've been on the window seat and I'll see the strangers next to me sleeping, and I will hold it and make myself uncomfortable so that they can sleep. So I want a ruling from you on this. What would you do in that scenario?
Okay. How long is that flight?
It's not that bad. It's like 2 hours.
Then you shouldn't be peeing on that flight unless it's an emergency. Period. I'm sorry. Pee before you get on the flight. I avoid the bathroom on planes at all costs. We had a 4-hour plane ride to Tulum and back. Didn't pee either way. I have no interest in it. And I probably did have to pee towards the end, but at some point, like you got 30 minutes left in the flight or something. It's like, I'll just wait till we land. I don't know, it's not the end of the world. But I'm with you on this. I think it's kind of annoying. I think it's clearly the first girl or woman or whoever was next to you, like if she was in the bathroom for a long time, there was probably a problem. So like things happen. Like I understand that stuff happens, but for both of them on a 2-hour flight to wake you up from a slumber, to me, I don't want to say it's rude because it's not rude, but you and I are like thinking of our surroundings a little bit more and going, is it really worth me waking up someone or moving for the guy in the window, moving 2 people out of the way just to go to the bathroom on a 2-hour flight? No chance. So I'm with you here, but I would imagine that there are a lot of people that are like, I don't care. It's a bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. Like you chose to pick the aisle seat. Now I would typically choose the window seat because I don't want to be bothered. And I usually don't go to the bathroom. So I never have to get up and I want to be left alone. So that's why I usually never choose the aisle. But in that situation, for both people to get up, I think that's just stupid and wrong.
So extra. I'm with you. I normally am a window seat girl, but I booked this last minute and only aisles were available.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. Like I would choose obviously an aisle before I choose the middle, but
yeah, you never want middle.
But yeah, like I find it odd. I think some of the times like the people too that like when they asked you to move to go to the bathroom, like they're like weirdly angry about it, and you're like, can you just relax? Like they're like, you are in their way, yes, but like you chose to have the window seat. You knew this was going to happen, and I don't know. I feel like those people are also probably like they're probably not. They're probably the kind of people that would send food back at a restaurant, which I would never do. Like there's like a pattern of behavior here that they probably follow that you and I don't really belong to.
Also the people that bring a whole satchel of fast food on the plane do not care that they're going to stink up the plane. Like one dude he was like 3 rows in front of me, a whole satchel of fried chicken from Popeyes. God. And granted, I love Popeyes. The spicy chicken sandwich is the bomb. Like, I'm not even mad at you for doing it, but there's zero care for the people around you.
On a 2-hour flight.
2-hour flight.
Guys.
2 and change.
Sometimes I think when people, where are you on the shoe thing too? Do you take your shoes off? I mean, I take my shoes off, but there's always socks on usually. And I usually do it when I'm next to Maddie, so it's not that big of a deal. People will like literally take their shoes and socks off. And I'm like, that's disgusting.
I have the funniest story to tell you. So no, I will never remove my shoes and socks. The only time that I've ever done that is when I was flying to Hong Kong and I was in one of those lay down beds.
Yeah.
And they provided me slippers, which is the only time I ever did it because I literally had to slumber because the flight was so long, but I was in my own pod. So my feet were not anywhere near anyone. Wait, I have to tell you the funniest story. No, but I think people that take their shoes off on a flight, this is not your living room. If you take your shoes and socks off, you're a savage.
I say that just because people get real relaxed on planes for some weird reason. And other than like wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt, like I'm not trying to like make this my living room couch. This isn't I'm just talking like slob all over the place. It's just disgusting. But people have no problem doing that. And it always amazes me.
Wait, so I was out with my friends on Saturday night and I was telling them about the bathroom thing. And we were talking about weird behavior on planes. And one of my guy friends told me the last flight that he took, someone on the plane just kept airdropping him pictures of feet.
That's actually pretty funny. Okay, that is actually funny.
And they were like Google stock images of feet. It wasn't like this person's feet. It was just like, and he goes, I got like 3
and they had no idea
who it was. Yeah, and he turned to his significant other and was like, someone is sending, are you doing, like, who is this around me? And then he didn't know who it was. It was just a stranger on the plane that I don't know if they were like into him or
I feel like they were just fucking with him. I mean, that's actually really funny though. I mean, you know, I know it would be annoying to get those, but you have to appreciate there is some good humor in that.
Oh my God, he thought it was hilarious. At first he was like, what the hell? And then after like the fourth one, he thought it was so funny.
That's actually, I never thought about that. AirDrop's crazy. You could just send whatever the hell you want to anybody on a plane. Yeah, especially if there's Wi-Fi. Come on. And you'd be completely anonymous.
Someone else shared a story that someone's boss accidentally shared an inappropriate photo on AirDrop to a coworker on a plane once.
Ah, geez. Well, that's why you got to lock that shit up, and because that could be dangerous. Yeah. Not great. All right. Not great. I'm sure
Anyway, okay, so let's change the subject there. Should we go into our draft here?
Yeah, let's do it. We're going to call it the Universally Loved Songs Draft. Okay. So these are songs that, regardless of your age, your sex, your race, your background, your setting, you are, when this comes on, happy, period. Okay. You know, you're not like, oh, this song sucks. Like, I think, for example, I'm going to throw this out there. So this might be on your list, but like Sweet Caroline shouldn't be on this because it's polarizing. You know, like some people love Sweet Caroline and I'm but other people are like, that song blows. Like, I don't want to hear that song. I'm talking about songs that no matter what, you're at a beach, you're at a pool party, you're at a wine bar, you're hanging outside your backyard. This song comes on and everybody kind of looks at each other and they're like, yeah, okay, this is a classic. Okay. So, and also I want to exclude like Happy Birthday doesn't count. Okay. You know, like Jingle Bells doesn't count. This has to be from, you know, an artist, like a pop-ish type song. Okay. So something that's played on the radio. But
Jingle Bells is a bop. Just saying.
I'm not going to say it's not, but that doesn't count in my eyes. It has to be like a pop artist that did this, or not necessarily pop. You know what I mean? Like something that was played on the radio.
I got you. I have the list. I'm ready.
All right. So you want, since it's my idea, and I was talking about this with my buddies at the party over the weekend, and I think there is a clear number one. And again, music is so subjective that people are gonna be like, that's dumb. There's no way. But for me, there is one song and it came on Saturday night. So I'll go first.
Okay.
With the first pick in the Small Talk Universally Loved Songs Draft, Team Cerruti selects September by Earth, Wind & Fire.
Great song. Incredible.
It's a perfect song.
Incredible.
It really is. And again, it came on and you're like, do you remember? And everyone knows all the lyrics. And most of these songs, everyone's going to know the lyrics to. Yeah. And it's also kind of become like a meme thing, like every September, the 21st of September, like everybody on Twitter tweets it out, on Instagram. And I also kind of feel like this song has gotten better with age. Right. You know, it was obviously great. And we weren't around when it came out, but it's my entire life. I feel like I've liked this song more and more and more and more to the point where it is one of the best songs of all time. It just is.
It's incredible.
And I know there have been a couple covers of it, and nothing will ever be the original. And I'm not even like a big Earth, Wind & Fire fan. My parents like love Earth, Wind & Fire. They grew up, we had like multiple albums and would listen to it in the car. But this obviously is they're like one main song. And I just don't think anybody dislikes this song. So I think that for me, this was the clear number one pick.
Okay. Great selection by you. Love that. I think I'm going to beat you though with my first pick.
Okay.
With the number 2 overall pick in the Universally Loved Songs Draft, Team Smallman selects Mr. Brightside by The Killers.
That's a good one. It is a good one. Had it on my list. You know what's funny is I struggled to find new songs, and this is one of the new songs from like the last like 10, 15-ish years that is on this list. It's a great call by you.
You put that song on at a wedding, you put it on in your car, you put it on in your AirPods as you're walking down the street, and no matter when you hear it, you cannot help but sing along and get hyped.
Mm-hmm. Love The Killers. The Killers have a great catalog too. I mean, they really do. I love Sam's Town, like really all that. Hot Fuzz, they're a great band, but this is like that one song when it comes on. Usually I feel like I'm at a bar. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I think about that, because it's not really a wedding. I mean, it kind of is a wedding song, but usually you're at a bar. Maybe there's like a live band playing this song and everyone is singing along front to back.
Love it. Okay, you're up.
No, you get 2 picks in a row.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, stressful.
It's a good call for you here to have the second pick.
Okay, so I have one that I know you love, and
that you know I love. Okay.
Yeah, and one song I know you love, but I don't know if it's as universally loved, but just because some people don't love this genre. And then I have one that, you know what? Okay, I'm just going to do this. With the 3rd overall pick, because I don't want to lose this one, in the Universally Loved Songs Draft, I'm going with International Players Anthem.
Oh, okay. So we have taken totally different avenues on this. That would not be on my list. I don't think that is a universally loved song.
You don't? I think everybody I know loves that song.
My parents aren't listening to that song.
Oh, so we're talking, really? I feel like they might love it.
And my parents are not listening to UGK and Outkast. Although, I shouldn't say that. But this song specifically, no way.
They're singing?
No way. Now, I will say anyone that is our age, I would say anyone 40 and below.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, so then let me rearrange. Can I repick then?
Okay, I'm going to let you, because there's no way. Yeah, well, I'll let you do it. Mr. Brightside, yeah, my parents like that song.
Okay,
but like,
so
no way they're listening to International Players Anthem.
Shout out UGK.
I mean, it would be awesome, but there's just no way that's happening. So
I just don't know anyone that dislikes that song. That's all I'm saying.
It's not that it's not. Could you listen to like your 60-year-old aunts or uncles listening to that? Like, no, they're not listening to that song. That's what I'm saying. It has to reach the masses. I don't think that song.
Okay, we're on the same page now.
We'll give you a redo.
Thank you for that. But like asterisk.
That's an amazing song. I mean, it's my favorite rap song of all time. So.
I just really wanted it. Okay, so then I'm going with the safer pick, which is what I was going to do anyway. Coming in at number 2 for Team Smallman is I Want to Dance with Somebody, Whitney Houston.
It's a good pick. I don't actually love Whitney Houston, but you're right. Like this song comes on, every girl is belting this, and even the dudes are like secretly like, yeah, this is good shit. Especially if they've had a couple of like vodka sodas in there. Yeah. Great pick. Okay. Now
that we're on the same page.
Yeah. That's a great pick. I will say good, that honestly might be a better pick. I mean, I like Mr. Brightside better, but I think Dance with Somebody is a better universally loved song. Okay. This might be controversial given him as a person.
Oh, so, I know exactly where you're going. Can I guess it?
Sure.
Is it? No, because if you, I think I know what it is. But I don't want to say it in case. I'm gonna guess it. Is it Ignition Remix R. Kelly?
No. See, again, that's too. Again, it's too.
No, I'm getting
it. The young kids are right. That I wouldn't pick that anyway. So you could say that and it's fine.
No. I'm not picking that. But I just thought it was because that's a song that everybody loves.
It is, but again, my parents are probably not singing Ignition Remix.
Oh, like come on. If they didn't know about R. Kelly, and listen, I would never pick it because I'm not supporting R. Kelly. But if that song just came on, I feel like even grandparents would be like, yes, what?
Okay. I disagree, but it doesn't matter. But tell me if this is, because this guy's a little bit similarly controversial, so maybe I shouldn't be picking this, but Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he was on my list, but I removed him.
Okay, should I not take him?
No, you can. It's a good song.
It's still, I mean, you know what's funny? I've always talked about this with friends and people who are like younger, because my mom grew up, like she loves Michael Jackson. Like when he died, she cried. And, our age group sort of remembers him. They do remember him differently. Like we remember him as like kind of the weirdo, that pedophile type guy, the guy who, obviously had a lot of work done, plastic surgery, like just not the singer. And I feel like our parents' generation, for the most part, they remember him as a kid and then growing up as this amazing singer and the Thriller album coming out. So we have very different relationships, I think, with Michael Jackson. But at the end of the day, that is a phenomenal, phenomenal song. It came on while we were in Tulum eating breakfast. And it's just, and I don't know if it was like the Halloween vibe because we're in October. I don't think it was. It just came on. And it's just hard not to get caught up in love and just like engulfed with the coolness of that song. And you know me, I don't really like the 80s, but I do love me some Michael Jackson, specifically that. So give me Thriller, even though it might be a controversial pick.
Okay. Am I up next?
Yes.
We're going to sex it up a little, and I'm going with my third pick. So what is this, 4th overall?
Yep. No, 5th overall.
5th overall. I'm going with Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye.
That's a great one. I feel uncomfortable though when I listen to that song, but I love it. I love that song.
I don't think though, if you hear that in any circumstance, no matter who you are, that you don't have a little vibe with it. Yeah.
You know what's funny about that too is like you can't really listen to that song by yourself. you would never put that. You would listen to that song in your car? No way.
No doubt. Yes, I would. No doubt.
Really? I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it is like a little bit weird. You almost have to listen to it with a group of people or in a sexual setting. Although who's like, has anyone put on Marvin Gaye like putting on Marvin Gaye when you're, about to get after it. I don't know if that actually happened. I just love the song.
Listen to a little Big Sean. He has a song called Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. It's get the ladies going.
All right,
no, a little Marvin Gaye and a little Chardonnay.
That is a good call. Either way, phenomenal song, and even just like the opening, I don't even know how to describe it. What even instrument is that?
Who knows? But it's amazing.
It's just a great intro to the song, and then literally, it's like, let's get it on. All right, we're in. All right, no pun intended. Okay, all right. Okay, so your songs, I feel like, are a little more edgy than mine.
Why? Because I sexed it up.
Yeah, but you're not wrong with that. Because a lot of mine are just like, they'd be good on a piano bar, or like with our not even a karaoke night, but like if a band is playing at a bar. Let me think about this. All right, I think this is the one. This is what, the sixth pick in the draft, my third pick. Give me "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. It's just, again, sing along song. I actually thought, so I was arguing with my friends. You don't like this one?
No, I think I would take like 12 other Journey songs before I would take "Don't Stop."
Oh, yeah, but you're okay.
Give me "Faithfully." I mean, come on, that song is so played out. I feel like people.
Some of these songs are played out, though. That's the point. That's why they're universally popular, because they are very much commercial successes. So you're right. I don't think this is not my favorite Journey song. But when I was out with my buddies this weekend, they told me that "Don't Stop Believing" is ahead of September.
No, they're wrong.
I agree.
You know why? Because I think "Don't Stop Believing" has gotten so intertwined with sports that we've just heard it too much. And maybe that's because we're sports people. You know what I mean? But yeah, like September comes on more sporadically, and that's why it's more loved. Whereas I feel like "Don't Stop Believing," it's like, okay, which team is gonna, win the World Series this year and have Journey behind it? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't agree with you on that. I really don't. I don't think I think about that with sports at all, to be honest with you.
Well, that's why I think when I think of sports songs, I think of like Seven Nation Army, and I think of "Don't Stop Believing," and I think of "Sweet Caroline." I think of all of these songs that have gotten intertwined.
I'll give you the other two. Or like "We Will Rock You," which I had kind of initially on my list. I don't know if you have any Queen songs, by the way. We'll get to that, I guess, before the end, but I struggled to find a Queen song that I would put on this list. But I don't agree with you on that. I think "Don't Stop Believing" is a bar song that is a sing-along song that you probably have to have a few cocktails in you to really appreciate and get in the mood for. Because I wouldn't put this song on ordinarily. Like, I'm not putting this on my Spotify playlist in the car. But when this comes on and you're with your buddies, or when you're with your friends, or it's at a wedding, it's like, to use quote Marvin Gaye, like, it's on. Let's get it on.
Okay, my next pick, we're going a little country, Steve. Give me "Friends in Low Places" by Brooks.
Already know. Country's not universally loved. You can pick it, it's fine. Listen, but like, there are people like my parents, they don't listen to country music.
You can't tell me if your parents didn't have a couple of sodas, a couple pops, and this song comes on at a bar that you're not singing it.
If you're gonna go country, I would pick what is that West Virginia song by John Denver?
No, that's
a great song.
That's a great song, but not everybody knows that song, and everybody has friends in low places. Everybody knows it, and the way that you all sing it together in a group. No, I stand by this pick. "Friends in Low Places" is a universally loved song.
I'm not gonna talk you out of it. All I will say is that country is a very polarizing genre of music. I have come around to the country. I like country now, some country, not all. But there are still, I think, big parts of the population like country music sucks.
But this is like a popular country
You're
song.
right. It is like the more, as far as like widespread,
as mainstream as country gets.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. So that's your second to last pick. Okay. I feel like I need a newer song. You have a couple of, at least one new song, Mr. Brightside. You tried to pick two with International Players Anthem, but which I love, but God. I have two in my head. One of them I like more than the other, but this one I actually think is the more universally loved song. Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. Absolutely beloved by people when it comes on. It's usually the problem with Uptown Funk is, and let me tell you the other one, because I'm not going to pick it. And I don't think you are either. I was deciding between Uptown Funk and "Hey Ya" by Outkast, because I wanted like a more modern song. But I do feel like I think my aunt, at like the barbecue or whatever, if Uptown Funk comes on, she's going to be way more excited about that than "Hey Ya." So for my newish type song, even though I don't love it and I don't really love Bruno Mars, when that song does come on and you're inebriated, there is some special thing where you're all of a sudden just like kicking your feet out and doing like weird Bruno Mars dances. So don't love it, but it's on my list.
Before I like totally understood the rules, I was debating between International Players Anthem and Usher Ludacris. That's a song that gets everybody going.
Yeah, still a little too edgy for the older crowd, I think. Uptown Funk it has the vibe. So, all right.
Clearly, I have taken my own route here with the picks, but I'm going to slow it down again. And this might be, you might laugh at this pick, but I don't know one person who hears this song and doesn't think it's an absolutely beautiful song. And it's not going to get you going, but it may get you to grab the tissues. And I don't know anyone who would be like, that song sucks or that song's trash. So I'm going to go with my final pick with What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick. And doing a lot of research and like, there's like, Reddit threads on this. This did come up a lot.
Really?
It did. So I think this is a great pick for you. I didn't have it on my list because I actually, I don't know. You're right. It is like a very sort of not sad, but sentimental song.
Sentimental. Yes. Good word.
And I think you're spot on with it. Like not one of my favorite songs. Like no one's pumped when this comes on, but you're just like, oh yeah, this is a beautiful song. It's a really good song.
Yeah. So that's my final pick. So that closes out Team Smallman with an ass and International Players Anthem is my sixth man.
I'll allow that. I will allow International, even though I don't think the older crowd is really getting into UGK.
You'd be surprised, dude. I guarantee you there are some elderly people, maybe at some nursing homes, that love a little International Players Anthem.
I have so many songs left that I really like. And I think I want to go over them with you after we're done quickly.
Okay.
But this is me having to pick out of like 3 to 4. Okay, I'm going to go with this one because I just think this is a winner. And again, I don't know if this is everybody's like favorite song, but it comes on and you're like, oh yeah, this is the vibe. Give me Three Little Birds, Bob Marley.
Yeah, good.
It's good in an island vibe. It's good at a bar. It's good at a wedding. It's really great. And also, it's actually like a sneaky oldish song too. It's been around for a long time. And I don't know anyone that doesn't really like and appreciate Bob Marley. So give me Three Little Birds, which I was deciding between Three Little Birds and One Love. And I went with Three Little Birds. I don't know if you agree with that.
No, I think you should have picked Could You Be Loved. I think that's the way better vibe song.
I think that's a better song, but I think those two are the ones that are like known the most by the masses. But I think Could You Be Loved? Yeah. Jammin'. I mean, Jammin's like probably my favorite Bob Marley song, but that's not on this. I couldn't put that on this list. I think it's between Three Little Birds and One Love, and I went with Three Little Birds.
Okay. Can we read each other the songs that we had? Okay.
Yeah. You go first.
So clearly I had I told you I haphazardly put this together on the walk.
It's all right. Music's subjective, Michelle. We know this. I guess that's why it's hard to do this, but I think we tried and it's good.
Okay. So I had Big Papa on my list.
Okay. I think everyone under 40, you're 100% right.
Yeah. I mean, that song holds the test of time and it's
fantastic
and everybody loves it. I had Benny and the Jets
great
on
song.
my list. Elton
great
John.
Song. Wouldn't have been my Elton song, but great song.
But if that comes on in a bar, everybody's singing but Benny and the Jets.
Yeah. That's a great song.
I had Imagine by John Lennon.
Popular choice.
Everybody loves that song. And then I randomly threw in Gasolina, Daddy Yankee.
You're again, actually, you know what? I don't know. Even if people under 40, that song is like kind of polarizing. I like it.
Nobody dislikes Daddy Yankee.
Daddy Yankee is I don't want to call him an underrated musician, but I don't think he gets his due for how many actual bangers.
I guarantee you, if your parents were having some cerveza sauce and they were in Mexico and Gasolina came on, that they would give a little hip shake.
Zero chance. But I'm with you again. If we're talking under 40, you're 100% right. All right, let me run through mine.
Okay. Yeah.
I had Hey Jude / Let It Be by the Beatles, but I don't know. Some people, the Beatles are polarizing though. Like some people really don't like the Beatles. Yeah, one of my buddies hates the Beatles. I'm like, that's stupid, but okay, you're entitled to your opinion. Hates the Beatles, doesn't like the Beatles, thinks they're trash, which is again, you can not like them, but they're not trash. You have to respect them.
Respect the art.
This one I almost picked ahead of Three Little Birds. Fast Car, Tracy Chapman.
Great song.
I mean, it's a great song. It's a little sad, kind of like, but it's a great song. Brown Eyed Girl, Van Morrison. Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. What's up? I know it's a little high school locker room for me, so that's why I stayed away from that one. And then this one, I in hindsight, I probably should have picked this, but Under Pressure, Queen, David Bowie.
I was thinking about putting Bohemian Rhapsody on the list, but it's so long that I thought people might not like it.
Yeah, I don't actually know. I mean, maybe, but I would imagine Bohemian Rhapsody is somewhat polarizing. It's a weird song. It's not, I can imagine it's not for everybody, but it is a great song. And that's why I figure Under Pressure, everybody loves David Bowie.
Yeah.
Queen is obviously incredibly popular. I feel like that's maybe the one, but I don't know. I don't know if that's universally loved the way some other songs are.
I also considered Killing Me Softly, Fugees.
Oh, fantastic song. I mean, listen, I love Lauryn Hill. X Factor is one of my favorite songs of all time.
That is on a tier of its own. X Factor is so good.
It's crazy that Drake's obviously sampled that, and I love both songs. And when the Drake one came out, I'm like, wow, he just absolutely crushes, which he did. But I would actually go back and listen to X Factor before I listened to Drake's. Why am I blanking on it? It's the name of the Drake song. Why am I blanking on it?
Hold on, I don't remember.
Is it Nice for What? It's Nice for What?
Yeah,
right?
It's Nice for
Nice
What.
for What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we're old. Sorry. Because at the time, like Nice for What, this is an absolute banger. I will go back and listen to X Factor because that is one of the best songs of all time, in my opinion.
It's so good.
Yeah. So anytime we can get a Lauryn Hill Fugees thing, I'm totally on board.
And to all of our senior citizen listeners, please submit a review and confirm that you are in fact like international players anthem.
Maybe I'm wrong. Honestly, I hope I am wrong because that would be fantastic. I just don't know if Joe and Ann Cerruti are getting down with UGK at their age, but you never know. They're young at heart. We'll figure it out.
Next time I go to my parents' house, I'll play it and record their reaction and see what they say.
Think back, Michelle, what the hell is happening right now?
Oh man. Okay, well, that was fun.
Yeah, let us know who you think won. And if there are any like glaring omissions that we had, because it is hard. Like there's a lot. I mean, there's obviously billions of songs, and trying to like narrow them down and put together like your power ranks is really hard. But I think we did a pretty good job. Should
we get to a review, Steve?
Yeah.
A lot of love, by the way, for the Murphy Lee interview, and thank you to everyone who reached out for that.
Yeah.
Including this review that says, loved Murphy Lee, 5 stars. What a fabulous human being. The best thing he said was how proud he is to be able to live and work in his hometown of St. Louis and share his wife and kids with the world, not keeping his family a secret of sorts from his fans. He said that his fans love his wife and kids more than they like him. That was super sweet. He truly is a diehard St. Louis guy. I'm proud of it. Murphy was a terrific interview and all around wonderful person. I wish him continued success, much deserved.
Yeah, listen, we were stoked to get him. He seems like an awesome dude. Like, him a little bit more than I do, but he does really seem that. And that's a great point that this person brings up. Like in that sort of like in the rap community, that's like almost, I don't want to say it's like frowned upon, but it's certainly not something that you like openly talk about. And it was really cool to hear him say that. So I'm just glad our audience likes Murphy Lee as much as we do.
Well, I think, what I take away from that and what I've always known in my interactions with him or any of the guys from the Lunatics is they're just very genuine. They're very true to themselves and their roots and who they are. And so his answer did surprise me just because I've never heard a rapper really talk about anything like that before. And it does make sense that it is a little taboo when you're young and coming up and, you have all these girls on the video.
You're supposed to be rapping about how much money you have and how like badass you are. And talking about your wife and kids isn't always the top of the conversation when it comes to rappers, but yeah, it's cool.
Right. Yeah, but I appreciated that answer too. And I think that that's part of the reason why, though, he's continued to have success is because he is really true to himself. So Thank you for that review. And if you haven't already, please head to Apple Podcasts or Podcast One or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, download Small Talk, subscribe to it, rate it, and leave a review. And we might read it at the end of the pod. Thank you so much to everyone for listening. Steve and I will be back in action soon. But until then, Steve, I'm glad your car's clean.
UGK, you're still my guys.
Thanks for listening to Small Talk. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or the Podcast One app.